It's two time. Want y'all to get your trackers and get your GPSs out. You know, this ain't the GPS. You know that you. This is God's GPS, God's pathway, and the source. You know, the GPS give you a satellite from the space, from the ground, and for the user. You know, God is beyond the space. The ground is the Holy Spirit guiding you, and your equipment and your receivers is the Holy Spirit. Jesus is with you on the ground. You know, so get your GPS out for God's direction. Who is God of the heavens and the earth? He is the creator and sustainer of the universe. Who is God of the heaven and the earth? He is infinite, sovereign, eternal, and unchangeable. Who is the God of the heavens and the earth? He is the source of all wisdom, power, holiness, justice, goodness, grace, mercy, and truth. Nothing is too difficult for our great God. When contemplating tomorrow, do we have more questions than answers, more fears than hope, more uncertainties than absolute, more misdirections than destination, more starts than finishes, more subtraction than addition, more stops than go? When we place our future in God's hands and ask Him to direct our lives, we need not to fear or question tomorrow. God has a plan for each of our lives, and He will lead each of us each day. If we base our decision and hope for the direction into our future on anything else other than God, we can end up miserable, dissatisfied, or disappointed. But only when we follow God's leading will we experience that inner quiet confidence that comes from knowing where we are heading. He's the head, so He's heading and leading us in the right direction. With our minds, we explore our options, evaluate our preferences, seek advice, and consider the consequences of our decision. But however, if we accept the Lord's leading, His guiding direction, He will direct our steps and make the pathway of His choice for us clear. That's giving clarity. That pathway will have light that illuminates your hope, our dreams for tomorrow, our expectations, our desires, our longings, that which we are ever seeking defines our hope. But hope also includes trust, confidence, and refuge in God. We need to know that our future belongs to God, which is the blessed hope where we're going. Our future destination is in heaven with God, for now and in eternity. And our hope is believing that He is well concerned for our welfare and our well-being. He listens when we praise. That's that communication. That's the satellite. That's the space. He answers when we call upon Him. That's going. Now He's on the ground working in us, and now we got our receiver on the floor. That's the GPS. That's God's pathway. That's God. He's the source. When we search for Him, He can be found. This great God, our great God, who is great at being God, who concerns Himself with the affairs of the nations and the world, personally cares about each one of us. Since He's a great God, we are great significance to Him. He knows and calls us by name. Get your GPSs out. God's pathway.
Man, hey,